Okay, so after the cringe chair town hall with MSNBC, it came time for the vote. And a lot of people said, well, that could not be more cringe than the town hall, to which the candidate said, hold my beer. So here is, I don't know what it is with Democrats and dancing at their events and making themselves look ridiculous, but here you go. All right, we ready?
Yep. They're trying to be rhythm.
Very catchy.
That was for APAC. That was for APAC.
Yeah. Okay, all right. That was not what they were actually listening to, but it worked. It did work.
The music, we don't know if it's
on the
copyright
beat.
protected. Yeah, we forgot to check it before the show, so we're playing it safe. That was better anyway. That should have been the music if it wasn't.
It should have been. Okay, so now for the rest of the cringe fest.
Na kosten will yeheki a ba ahye danidzin. Welcome. The Democratic National Committee wishes to acknowledge that we gather together to state our values on lands that have been stewarded through many centuries by the ancestors and the descendants of tribal nations.
My name is Troy Blackwell. I know that I'm a new face to many of you, but I'm a proud Afro-Latino from the South Bronx, New York. I got into this work because at the age of 18, unfortunately, I was the victim of a hate crime. Today, I stand before you as one of the first non-binary candidates to run in the DNC's 177-year history.
What it's all about.
I'm proud to be the only Afro-Latino in this race. I'm asking you to take a chance on someone like me, a proud non-binary Afro-Latino from the South Bronx.
The final tally of votes, Troy Blackwell, amazing. 0.
Hey, I
Zero.
am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot, regardless of gender identity.
This is amazing.
We must elect a candidate of any gender as well as one male and one female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot,
Right.
we'll have
Then what?
one officer of the three.
By the way,
Please
for
do
those who
go
don't
on.
know, this is the outgoing chair. This is the head, the party. This is Jamie Harrison. Yeah.
So we will now. So then we will know which position is filled of the one male.
Okay,
one
stop. I'm sorry. I'll back it up. Don't worry.
Do not pass go.
I'm sorry to break the flow, but
Do not collective vaginoplasty.
this is the outgoing chair of the party who's stepping down. He doesn't have to step down, but it's customary that when your party takes a bath in the election, you step down,
Yeah,
right? Because the idea is you failed. And a huge reason why they failed in this election was because of exactly this. And on the way out, here he is.
is elected on the first ballot. We'll have one officer of the three. So we will now. So then we will know which position is filled of the one male, one female, and one vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the third position that is remaining based on the two results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected.
It's like who's on first. It's like if Abbott and Costello
don't
were
even understand
Scientologists, that's what that would be, yeah.
That's what we should do for our next live show. We should
Unbelievable.
We should do this as who's on first.
Yeah, who's I
mean, but look, if you have allowed your entire organization to become defined by this, how do you pivot? How do you change? Because you don't have the people you need to change. We've spoken a lot about how the anti-woke thing is its own grift, that it's woke in a different way. It's very woke. Zionism is very woke. the identity politics of the right is very woke. We acknowledge that. But when you're talking about this, as we should, because it's the DNC chair race, this is what happens to any organization that allows these ideas to infect it. It is really like, you ever, the cicadas in the summertime. Sometimes you'd be walking down the street and you see like ants eating out the whole shell of the cicada.
Right.
That is basically what these ideologies and ideologues do to organizations, whether it's movie studios or political organizations. They just hollow the whole thing out once they get in until there's just nothing left there. But the reason that there was an opening for this in the first place is because gradually, I don't think by accident, I think a lot of it has been, I didn't used to think that, or I didn't know about that. The more I've looked into it, the more I do think it's partly been a psyop to neutralize the left. Whatever you believe about that, regardless, these ideas have been absolute poison, because how can you be a Wall Street owned left party while there's nothing but to create more and more elaborate and performative demonstrations of obeisance to more and more abstract concepts of identity? There's nothing else, right? If you're going to say, well, we're not like the right wing, well, how are you not like the right wing? We think children should get drag shows, right? Like, what else are you going to come up with when you're both owned by the same interests and have basically the same economics and basically the same foreign policy?
Right. Yeah, you're both pro genocide. You're both against raising the minimum wage. You're both against universal health care.
Right.
You're both against, tuition free college and all that. So yeah, the only way to differentiate yourself is this way. And it's just amazing. This is as if they thought there were no cameras in the room.
Right.
Like, did you not think this was gonna come out?
Right.
This is supposed to be your relaunch. I mean, wow.
Well,
Wow.
and this is what I mean by the whole party's been hollowed out by this ideology. There's no, who's going to say anything? You had one guy, and what? There's no momentum for that in the room, because anybody who would really think that way, that was us.
Right.
That was the Bernie movement. We walked away years ago. We're not in the room. That's what they wanted. That's what they got. They didn't want us. They didn't want our energy. So there's nobody to listen to Faiz. My only question when I watched that, I said, what the hell are you still doing there, man? You got a successful channel. You did a good job. I love their videos.
Yeah. No, it is.
Videos are great.
Is, like, why bother running for DNC chair? Did you think you had a
why
chance?
Would you do this?
Did you think you had a chance? Yeah.
Hey, man, unlike most of the people in your kind of lane, you actually figured out the new media and were able to build a successful channel. Like, you have presence in the new media. Use it to build something new. Fuck these guys. That's the past. This is over. If something called the Democratic Party continues, it's only going to be because people came in and took it over. Now, whether that means it's going to become Trump light, which it very well might, like it could just wind up being a party very much like Clinton's post-Reagan party. It was for Reaganites who, were more socially liberal, basically, than the Republican Party. I mean, frankly, that's the most likely scenario because they like that money too much. Or it's going to be taken over by real leftists, which I don't see happening. But what it is now, people say, well, they're paid to lose. Yes and no. Yes and no. People with money like to have power.
Yeah,
right? They're not going to keep giving them money if they keep losing and losing and losing.
Yeah, you can't lose all the time.
They go.
Please clap.